Hello and welcome back. Today we are looking at an old and goldie. This is the Burston Prime. Now, a lot of people would say this is possibly one of the worst primary weapons in the game. However, I believe I have utilised it in a way where it can actually be relatively useful. It's still not the best. If you're going to be an endurance runner, this is not a weapon for you. However, it can quite easily clear the star chart with this current build. I will admit though, despite the fact that it's a Mastery Rank 0 weapon, it's quite easily acquired. So, sadly, some of the mods I have put on this are going to be a bit more difficult to get. The main one that you will require will be the augment mod, not for the proc, it is simply for the increase in fire rate. The proc can be useful. As a quick side note, for those people that do love a bit of Neja, I am sorry, I am very bad with Neja. I've not played him in a while, so I wanted to do this video with Neja. Anyway, back to Burston Prime. This is considered to be a low tier weapon, however, it can quite easily clear the star chart as well as sortie. You see me in here in the void with the thing, and in case you don't know, the void enemies do have a slight buff on their health, armor and damage output, so they are slightly more tanky than your typical star chart enemy. So you can quite easily see that I am brutalizing these guys with relative ease, so I am hoping that this does show that this weapon can be made viable. And the way I've pretty much made this weapon viable is purely through a little bit of damage, but mostly fire rate. I have also increased the magazine capacity because you will chew through ammo so very quick, but it does act quite well as a little bit of just general DPS. It does start to slow down level 100 plus. You're purely relying on just chewing the enemies with a little bit of damage, but mass fire rate. And as such, the overall DPS of this weapon is actually pretty darn impressive. Now then, this weapon at base will have a total of 39 damage, which is pretty piss poor. A crit chance of 5%, pretty piss poor. Critical multiplier of a 1.5, which is again shock horror, pretty piss poor. However, it does have a 15% status chance, which is actually quite workable. So you can, as I have, work on that just to try and bring it up just that little bit more. It is also a very accurate weapon, so this does help with ammo management just that little bit more, so it will help just generally conserve your ammo. I've also added shred into this thing, well, prime shred, just to help again with ammo management. Due to the punch through, you can hit multiple enemies. Now, this is the part where it gets weird, because I've had to use magazine warp, because I did find that without magazine warp I found myself reloading too often to actually be able to get consistent damage, particularly because of where it's a burst fire. Sometimes it just takes that one extra round to kill something, but you will be firing 3, so this can be a bit annoying. And speaking of annoying, please do not put heavy caliber on this thing. You won't hit a darn fucking thing, even if your life depended on it, which in high levels, if you're deciding to use this weapon, it will. Anyway, as I'm showing here, these are heavy gunners, all at level 100. There's a mix of 5 of them. You've got the Arid, the normal, the Drekka, the Kuva one, and yeah, just happily chewing through them. Using corrosive just to help strip that armor, but adding in the fire rate, the proc rate is pretty darn insane. Anyway, on with the build. Serration, split chamber, malignant force, high voltage, Gilded Truth, which is the augment and is available from Arbiters of Hexus. Prime Shred, if you don't have Prime Shred, just go with the normal Shred, which is iffy-ish to come by. Infected Clip, just to help buff that corrosive damage, and Magazine Warp, because you will need a larger magazine just to stop yourself reloading every 3 fucking seconds. So that is the build I've utilised for this weapon. I do find it works quite well. It's not the best, because it's just quite simply not the best weapon, but it does work, and then on Freeformer I find that's pretty darn cheap. Anyway, that's me. Thank you very much, and I will see you pretty darn soon. Ta-ra!